Balance, a topic of discussion when it comes to any fighting game, especially if that fighting game has a ranked mode. And for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, we do have a ranked mode confirmed for the game, but it had people up in arms on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, because people were thinking about another statement by the producer Jun Furutani, who basically said that characters that are stronger than other characters, basically canonically, are gonna be stronger in the game. So if you have a character, for example, like Hercule, he will not be able to face, or he'll have difficulty facing a character like Broly or Super Saiyan Blue Goku or Gogeta, Vegeta. He'll be inherently a little bit weaker than them. Now, to me, this isn't really anything surprising when it comes to Spike Chunsoft, because Spike Chunsoft has also made One Piece Burning Blood, and they've also made Jump Force, and they've also made One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. And in those games, a lot of the characters are basically manga slash anime accurate. What do I mean by this? So in One Piece Burning Blood, if you pick Sanji, for example, he'll be completely useless if you have him fighting up against any female character in the roster. Essentially, so if you go up against a team of 3 females, because it was a 3v3 fighting game, and you have Sanji in your team and he's your last man standing, I believe you were just screwed. You literally cannot damage. He just attacks with hearts. It does like minimal chip damage, if any at all. So that was kind of like it's a case where it's stupid, because it's basically nullifying him to have access or fight against another half of the roster, basically, right? And in One Punch Man, for example, I believe you can't play as Saitama at all. Like, I think you could play as other characters, and I believe the mechanic of that game is that you could call in Saitama, and then if he does get one hit in, you basically win, right? Now, I never really played that game, but I just saw that mechanic and I was like, okay, once again, Spike Chunsoft strikes again. Obviously, they did the same thing in Jump Force with Sanji. I believe he had the same problem. So, and they also did this in the old Tenkaichi, when I believe they were just called Spike. In the old Tenkaichi games, Broly, especially Legendary Super Saiyan, he always had super armor. Broly would never not have super armor unless you were significantly stronger than him, or if you do gut punches and stuff like that. So characters like Broly and the giant characters, you can't rush them, or you can't basically stun them unless you were stronger, right? So in this game, and a lot of the gameplay that we've basically been seeing up until now, with all the recordings and different builds, because some people that play the Summer Games Fest build, that build was apparently older than some of the Japanese or Korean footage that we got too. So in a piece of footage, we did see Beerus fighting Great Ape Vegeta, and guess what? Beerus is able to basically stun Vegeta and stagger him as he punches him, because Beerus is stronger. But I believe if you were to use someone like Krillin or Hercule, whatever, Vegeta would not budge, basically, right? So all this to say, rank is definitely a cause of concern for a lot of people, and it seems like, thanks to Zaid for basically pointing this out, and I have basically the full article here. So Zaid basically snipped this part out, and it basically said, Sparking Zero is a modern game with modern online modes, including a ranked option. This game is definitely not an esports game like Fighters, for example. We still want to bring a balance into the fights, Furutani explains. Instead, each online ranked battle will give you a cost limit, with each fighter you bring in having a certain value associated. That's the way we balance the game, meaning that in one team you cannot just choose 3 or 5 of the most powerful characters. So basically he's saying that each character will have an attribute point, and that you cannot have a full team of basically Gogeta Blue, Vegeta Blue, Rose, maybe Gogeta 4 if he gets announced, if GT's in it, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku or whatever, right? So you cannot have a full team of just OP characters. And I'll cut to the screen here, one sec. Okay, so here I have Budokai Tenkaichi 3 pulled up, right? So one player has come. So basically what they're saying is that exactly. So this is going to be the ranked mode, right? I don't know what the limit is, but let's say we do the max is 20. Alright, so we're gonna go in and hop in. As you can see here, every character has a different attribute point. Characters that are known to be stronger, I guess, canonically, have a higher point difference, right? So Vegeta's at 5, Goku's at 5, Goku's at 6 now because he is like this when he has Super Saiyan, and I believe, yeah, see, your forms also do have a difference, right? So now we go up. So now we go up to, looks like up to 9. So Vegeta or Super Vegeta and Super Gogeta are both at 9. And we have Ultimate Gohan at 8. Let's see if there's anyone that goes up to 10. I really don't think there is. Oh, there is. Oh yeah, the Go, of course. So for example, you could basically only pick, like if I were to pick, oh, my favorite character, Gogeta. And then my second character is going to be Vegito. Boom. I mean, I can't pick anyone else. Maybe Hercules. Yeah, see, he's at 1. I think a Cyberman. I don't think I have him unlocked, potentially. Maybe some OG DB characters, right? They're like at 2, 4. Raleigh should be higher than 5, to be honest, but anyway. But yeah, so basically Hercule is like the only character I could pick, right? But if I were to do, like, you know, obviously, which is why he's at 8, because this guy is insanely good. But I believe, too, this also forces people to basically play the game a little bit more, because instead of basically choosing right off the bat, like, oh, let me go Super Saiyan 2, I believe if you just pick him at base and transform into Super Saiyan 2, you're kind of cheating the system a little bit, right? Same thing with Goku or Gohan or whatever, right? Like, I like Ultimate Gohan, sure. So now we're at, what, 13? Okay. So now if I do Goku, but let's see, actually let me get rid of him and then let me put Vegeta. So now, not only do I have access to Super Saiyan 2, but I also have access to fusions as well with these two. And then also, this just gives me the option to pick someone else. Which obviously is not too bad, right? You got the Ginyu Force and stuff like that. Obviously, characters that are not as strong, but you even pick Great Ape Fasha, right? And there you go, look, we can even pick Broly still. So look, this is a pretty strong team against someone, for example, that'll basically have only 3 characters, and you can't, I mean, Hercule's alright, but I mean, you'll basically be going up against Vegito and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but you have 4 characters, 2 of which confuse, 1 can transform into a really strong Saiyan, same thing with this guy, right? Obviously it takes more time, and maybe the battle won't allow you to actually reach your potential at the end, but this is their way of balancing the new SparkingZero ranked mode. So, I know how people feel about, in general, like this being the case where Chaozu isn't as strong as Goku Mid or Goku End or Ultimate Gohan, right? And I get that because I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, but at the end of the day, for me personally, I don't think it makes the roster entirely useless. It just, I think they're used to doing stuff, or they're known for doing stuff like this, but I kind of don't really care too much how this affects just the general play, because to me, they're honest with their overall, you know, they're honest with their overall goal with this game. It's not going to be, like they said, a competitive fighter. It is a fun celebration and continuation of the Tenkaichi series. So I don't expect a Dragon Ball FighterZ type of balance. I just expect insanity, right? Even Devilman is at 2. Or I think even DKP is actually pretty good, and he's quote-unquote weaker than a Gogeta, right? So I don't think it really matters, and I don't think it's going to go to the extent that people think where like half the roster is useless. I think we're going to be at a stable, because even Arale has super armor, I believe, as well. Arale is kind of a little psychopath the way she gets hit. So I don't think the game is going to be as unbalanced or game-breaking as people think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the same old, and it's not going to invalidate half the list. The most important thing is that we can recreate the Yamcha and Omega Shenron meme that they did. But aside from that, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Are you a fan of how they're doing this? Are you used to this with the Tenkaichi series? Do you wish they kind of just kept everyone equal in terms of like stats? Or do you like that there's like kind of this almost party game feel to it where some characters are going to be stronger just because they're canonically stronger, or some characters are going to be weaker because of that same reason? Let me know down in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.